Everyone thought she was just another tourist in the crowded museum gift shop, casually browsing postcards. But when security guards surrounded her and emptied her backpack at the exit, they suddenly froze, staring at a small metal object nestled among her belongings. The senior guard whispered 3 words to his colleague. "Call the director." The nervous junior guard asked, "Why? What's wrong?" The senior guard replied with unusual reverence, "Tempest Medallion. Classified historical significance." The entire room fell completely silent. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. September 24th, Metropolitan Museum Special Exhibition, 2:15 p.m. Chen stands near the Ancient Civilizations display, worn canvas backpack slung over one shoulder. Her visitor badge reads, Chen, 28, American citizen, Chinese heritage. High school history teacher. A museum docent notices her taking extensive notes and sighs. Young teachers these days, always trying to create lesson plans from exhibits instead of buying the official curriculum guides. When the docent approaches to offer assistance, Maya just smiles politely and continues writing. A couple nearby chuckles. Probably a new teacher still full of enthusiasm. "She'll burn out soon enough," the woman whispers. Maya doesn't react, just adjusts her glasses and continues examining a small display of ancient coins. The visitors around her exchange knowing glances. Another eager educator who doesn't understand the proper way to appreciate fine art and historical artifacts. Someone who clearly doesn't belong in their sophisticated cultural environment. An older patron in expensive clothing shakes his head disapprovingly. No appreciation for the curated experience. Young people today want everything their own way. But Maya continues her methodical note-taking, seemingly oblivious to the judgment around her. Her posture is relaxed, her movements precise. She appears to be just another dedicated teacher preparing materials for her classroom, nothing more and nothing less. The museum staff makes their routine announcements about closing times and special exhibit hours. Visitors continue their casual browsing of ancient artifacts behind glass cases. Nobody pays any special attention to the quiet woman in the Ancient Civilizations section. She's invisible to them, just background noise in their important cultural experience. A corporate executive checks his watch impatiently, eager to finish the obligatory museum visit. A family hurries past displays, trying to see everything before closing time. Regular museum patrons linger at their favorite exhibits, discussing artistic merits and historical significance. All normal museum activity. All routine visitor behavior. Maya remains focused on her task, notebook open, backpack at her feet, looking for all the world like someone with nothing important to contribute to archaeology or historical preservation. The museum guards continue their standard security protocols, checking that visitors maintain proper distance from exhibits, ensuring no photography in restricted areas, verifying that no one touches the priceless artifacts. Standard procedures for a standard afternoon at the Metropolitan Museum. Nobody suspects that the unassuming teacher examining ancient coins possesses knowledge that could transform our understanding of human history. The overhead lights begin their familiar dimming sequence, signaling the approaching closing time. Visitors begin moving toward the exits, gathering belongings and making final observations of exhibits. But sometimes the most important people are the ones nobody notices. Have you ever been completely overlooked because people judged your appearance? I once met someone like Maya at an archaeological conference. She didn't give presentations or participate in panel discussions, but when experts argued over a controversial artifact dating, she quietly provided the contextual evidence that resolved their debate. A renowned archaeologist later told me, "She doesn't have academic credentials, but she has insights the rest of us missed while focusing on our specialties." The museum approaches closing time. Suddenly, an alarm blares through the ancient civilization section. Display case sensors. Triggered. Security protocol activated. Museum guards rush toward the disturbance, radios crackling with urgent communications. The head of security reviews camera footage, brow furrowing in confusion. Strange. No one approached that case, but the sensors detected movement inside. His deputy suggests, system malfunction? The security chief shakes his head. No. Look closer. Something inside the case is changing. A guard approaches Maya as she prepares to leave. Ma'am, could you wait a moment? Director Harrington would like to speak with you. Maya shows no surprise, just nods and steps aside. The security chief asks over the radio, is there someone named Maya Chen still in the building? The guard confirms, yes, the woman with the canvas backpack near the exit. The security chief pauses, then instructs, please escort her to security checkpoint 3. Search her bag. Use protocol Delta. The guard approaches Maya again. Ma'am, I need to inspect your backpack. Museum policy. Maya hands over her bag without question or hesitation. The guard begins the standard search procedure. Other departing. Visitors watch with mild curiosity, wondering what could possibly warrant security interest in such an ordinary-looking person. As the guard empties the backpack contents onto the inspection table, he finds normal items: notebooks, pens, a water bottle, a small digital camera, a protein bar, and a wallet. Nothing unusual or concerning. The visitors who had stopped to watch begin to lose interest, assuming it was a routine random check. Then the guard's hand touches something at the bottom of the bag. He removes a small cloth pouch, carefully opens it, and freezes completely. His eyes widen in disbelief. Inside lies a small medallion, ancient in appearance, with markings that match nothing in any known historical record. Yet somehow, impossibly, it bears striking similarities to artifacts. In the special exhibition, artifacts that have never been publicly documented in detail. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. The senior guard approaches, glances at the medallion, and immediately recognizes its significance. His face drains of color. He leans closer and whispers to his colleague, "Call the director, now." The junior guard stammers, "Why? What's wrong?" looking confused at the unremarkable metal disc. The senior guard replies with unusual reverence, "Tempest Medallion, classified historical significance." His voice drops even lower. There are only supposed to be 3 in existence, all under government protection. This would be number 4. The atmosphere in the exit area transforms instantly. What began as a routine security check has become something far more significant. The casual chatter of departing visitors fades into tense silence. A teenager with her phone ready asks her father, "Should I take a picture of this?" Her father quickly responds, "Put that away now." Maya's expression remains calm, showing neither surprise nor concern at the reaction her medallion has caused. The museum director arrives, slightly out of breath from hurrying across the building. One look at the medallion and his demeanor changes completely. "Miss Chen, would you come with me, please?" His tone is careful, measured, trying to maintain a casual appearance for the benefit of onlookers. But the tremor in his voice betrays his excitement and concern. Maya nods once. "Of course, Director Harrington." The fact that she knows his name without introduction doesn't escape the notice of the security guards. As they walk toward the administrative offices, Director Harrington whispers, "Where did you get this?" The Tempest medallions are strictly controlled. The Smithsonian has one, the British Museum another, and the third disappeared during World War II. Maya replies quietly, "I never said it was a Tempest medallion." The director stops walking, but the markings, the composition. It has to be. Maya continues walking, forcing him to follow. Appearances can be deceiving, Director. Especially in my line of work. A small group of museum staff and security personnel gather in the conference room. The medallion sits on the table, drawing every eye in the room. An archaeology expert has been hastily summoned from the research department. She examines the medallion through a magnifying glass, her hands shaking slightly. "This can't be real," she whispers. "The metallurgical composition matches our existing examples, but these markings, they're different, more complete. If this is authentic, it changes everything we thought we knew about pre-Columbian contact with Old World civilizations." The director turns to Maya. "Miss Chen, you still haven't explained how this came into your possession or why you brought it to our museum today." Maya looks directly at him. "Because your special exhibition includes artifacts that share design. Elements with this medallion. Artifacts your own researchers haven't fully understood. I wanted to see them firsthand." The archaeology expert interrupts, "But these connections haven't been published. Our research is ongoing and confidential." Maya smiles slightly. "Yes, I know, that's why I'm here." A security officer who has been checking databases on his tablet looks up suddenly. Someone else would have made the connection eventually. Perhaps too late, but the knowledge was there in the artifacts all along. We just needed to look at them with the right perspective. 3 days later, the predicted earthquake strikes. An 8.7 magnitude event that triggers a tsunami along coastlines that had been evacuated based on Maya's warning. The death toll, while tragic, is a fraction of what it might have been without the advance notice. News reports credit international cooperation among scientific agencies for the timely warning. No mention of ancient medallions or historical anomalies. No recognition of the quiet woman whose understanding of forgotten knowledge saved countless lives. In the aftermath, Maya returns to the museum one last time. The special exhibition has reopened, now drawing larger crowds fascinated by the artifact's connections to regions affected by the recent disaster. Visitors speculate about coincidences and historical curiosities, never suspecting the true significance of what they're viewing. The director meets Maya in his office. "The official statement makes no mention of your contribution or the medallion's role in predicting the event." Maya nods. "That's as it should be. The world isn't ready to reconsider its understanding of ancient capabilities. But you deserve recognition. What you did saved thousands of lives." Maya gathers her belongings, including her replica medallion, now inert again after the seismic event. "Recognition would only complicate my work. I prefer to remain invisible," the director suggests. "Effective," Maya corrects him. "Knowledge preserved in artifacts like the Tempest Medallions represents our ancestors' attempt to protect future generations. My job is to ensure their warnings aren't lost to time or academic skepticism." As she prepares to leave, the archaeology expert enters with a small package. "We created this for you. A token of our appreciation." She hands Maya a museum publication, a special edition research paper incorporating the new understanding of the artifacts, with Maya listed as a contributing expert. Maya accepts it with a rare smile. "Thank you. This means more than you know." Outside the museum, visitors stream past Maya without a second glance. She's once again invisible to them, just another person with a worn backpack and sensible shoes. No one would guess that the unassuming woman walking among them had recently saved thousands of lives by understanding what everyone else had overlooked. A school group passes by, their teacher enthusiastically explaining the importance of studying history. "The past isn't just about memorizing dates and names," the teacher tells her students. "It's about understanding how people before us viewed the world and what knowledge they tried to preserve for us." Maya pauses to listen, nodding slightly in approval before continuing on her way. "Have you ever wondered how many warnings from the past we failed to recognize? How many ancient artifacts contain knowledge we've dismissed as primitive superstition or decorative art? The next time you visit a museum, remember that the most valuable historical insights might not be in the celebrated centerpieces of famous collections. They might be hiding in plain sight, their true significance visible only to those who approach the past with humility and openness. They might be carried in the worn backpack of someone everyone else overlooks, until the moment when everything depends on them. The Historical Anomaly Research Division continues its quiet work, identifying and interpreting artifacts that don't fit conventional understanding. Maya Chen returns to her modest apartment, places her replica medallion in a secure case alongside other specialized tools, and prepares for her next assignment. The world never learns her name or understands her contribution. Museum visitors continue to admire ancient artifacts without grasping their true purpose. Archaeologists continue debating established timelines and capabilities of past civilizations. But somewhere, in a database accessible only to a select few, a report documents how ancient knowledge preserved in a set of medallions helped predict and mitigate a natural disaster in the modern era. And in that report, there's a note about the importance of looking beyond appearances, of recognizing that expertise and insight often come from unexpected sources. Because sometimes the most extraordinary people appear entirely ordinary, until the moment when their unique knowledge becomes the difference between disaster and salvation. The extraction team arrives in an unmarked vehicle, moving with practiced efficiency as Maya transfers the artifact into a specialized containment case. The team leader, a woman with close-cropped silver hair, briefs Maya as they drive away from the compromised facility. We've secured a temporary search station in Utah, off-grid, minimal personnel, maximum security. She hands Maya a tablet with satellite imagery. Blackwood's forces have completely occupied the Colorado facility. They're tearing it apart looking for the artifact. Maya studies the footage. Any casualties? Minor injuries only. Director Voss implemented Condition Hummingbird. All personnel had non-lethal defensive options and evacuation priority. We lost the facility but protected our people. And the other artifacts in the vault? The team leader's expression tightens. Most were evacuated through alternate routes. A few less significant items were left behind as additional decoys. Blackwood now possesses 7 artifacts of minimal importance, believing one of them must be what he's seeking. Maya allows herself a moment of relief. That buys us time. Not much, the team leader warns. Blackwood has resources. Once he realizes none of the artifacts match what his intelligence described, he'll resume the search. Maya turns her attention to the secure case containing the real artifact. Despite its unassuming appearance, this small metal disc has become the center of a dangerous conflict, a conflict that could escalate further if Blackwood discovers their destination. We need to take precautions against tracking, she says. Blackwood's technology companies specialize in advanced surveillance systems. The team leader nods. Already implemented. This vehicle has electromagnetic shielding and will switch transport 3 times before reaching the Utah facility. Speaking of which, she hands Maya a new secure phone. Yours might be compromised. Director Voss wants you to contact him once we're secure. For the next 8 hours, they travel through increasingly remote terrain, switching vehicles at predetermined points and taking countermeasures against potential surveillance. Maya uses the time to review all available data on the artifact, searching for patterns that might reveal its purpose. By nightfall, they reach a nondescript research station nestled in the remote Utah wilderness. From the outside, it resembles an environmental monitoring facility, nothing to suggest its true purpose as a high-security research installation. As soon as they've secured the artifact in a specialized containment chamber, Maya contacts Director Voss. I've been analyzing the markings during transport, she tells him. They share mathematical properties with the Tempest Medallions. The celestial references are different. Instead of predicting geological events, this artifact seems calibrated to some kind of radiation pattern. Cosmic radiation? Vos asks. Possibly, but there's something else. Maya pulls up her notes. The soil samples from the excavation site showed crystallization patterns consistent with exposure to an intense energy field. Whatever this device does, it's affected its surroundings even in dormant state. Voss is silent for a moment. Maya, I need to share something we discovered in Blackwood's communications. He's collected 3 other artifacts with similar properties over the past year. Each from different locations, each with distinct but mathematically related markings. The implications hit Maya immediately. He's assembling components of a system, just like I theorized. Exactly. But he's missing a crucial piece, the one you're securing now. The trigger component, Maya concludes. Without it, the other artifacts remain dormant, which explains the assault on our facility. Blackwood's researchers must have determined they need all 4 components to activate whatever system these artifacts comprise. Maya considers this new information. Director, we need to accelerate our research. If Blackwood is willing to attack a government installation, he's desperate to activate this system. We need to understand its purpose before he finds us. Agreed. I'm sending our top research team to your location. In the meantime, begin preliminary analysis. And Maya, be careful. Blackwood's resources are substantial, and he's now treating this as an arms race. After ending the call, Maya enters the containment room where the artifact is being monitored. The facility's lead scientist, Dr. Eleanor Wright, is already establishing baseline readings. Fascinating object, Dr. Wright comments without looking up from her instruments. The energy signature is unlike anything I've documented before. Low level, but extraordinarily stable. No degradation despite its age. Maya moves to a workstation and begins uploading her data. We need to focus on the activation parameters. The markings indicate a specific celestial alignment that occurs in approximately 11 weeks. Dr. Wright glances up with new interest. You think it's designed to activate under specific astronomical conditions? Similar to the Tempest Medallions, yes. But while they were warning systems for natural disasters, this appears to serve a different function. For the next several hours, they work in focused silence, cataloging every aspect of the artifact. Maya analyzes the intricate markings while Dr. Wright examines its composition and energy patterns. Occasionally, they compare notes, building a comprehensive understanding of the mysterious object. Around midnight, Dr. Wright makes a breakthrough. These energy fluctuations follow a precise pattern. It's almost like a heartbeat, regular pulses with micro-variations that repeat every 23.7 minutes. Maya looks up from her analysis. That's significant. 23.7 is the exact number of degrees that the constellation referenced in the markings will shift during the alignment 11 weeks from now. Dr. Wright's eyes widen. It's counting down. The pulses are synchronized with the approaching celestial event. A new possibility forms in Maya's mind. What if it's not just waiting for the alignment? What if it's actively preparing for it? Adjusting its internal mechanisms as the alignment approaches? Like a calibration sequence, Dr. Wright suggests. But calibrating for what? Before Maya can respond, an alert sounds from the facility's security system. The lead security officer appears at the door, expression grim. We've detected unusual drone activity in the area. Nothing directly overhead, but systematic search patterns approximately 10 miles out. Maya feels a chill. Blackwood. He's narrowing down our location. How? We took every countermeasure against tracking. Maya looks at the artifact, understanding. Dawning, the energy signature. It's unique enough that specialized equipment might detect it, even through our shielding. The security officer straightens. I'll increase perimeter monitoring and alert Director Voss. After he leaves, Dr. Wright turns to Maya with concern. If they can track the energy signature, no facility will be secure for long. Maya studies the artifact, weighing options. Then we need to understand its purpose immediately. I'm authorizing simulation of the celestial alignment conditions. Dr. Wright looks alarmed. That would require bypassing standard research protocols. We don't know what will happen if it activates. We don't have the luxury of standard protocols anymore. Maya begins programming the simulation parameters. Blackwood is hunting this artifact with everything he has. We need answers before he finds us. Over the next 12 hours, the research team constructs a specialized chamber that can simulate the specific astronomical conditions the artifact is designed to respond to. Maya works without rest, driven by the urgency of their situation and the knowledge that Blackwood's forces are systematically searching the region. By late afternoon, the simulation chamber is ready. The artifact sits at its center, surrounded by instruments that will record every aspect of its behavior under the simulated celestial alignment. Dr. Wright reviews the final preparations. We've established a controlled environment with multiple redundant containment systems. If the artifact produces unexpected effects, we can immediately neutralize them. Maya nods, studying the monitoring screens. Begin the simulation sequence. 10% power initially, then increase gradually while monitoring the artifact's response. As the simulation activates, recreating the specific stellar positions and radiation patterns that will naturally occur in 11 weeks, the artifact immediately responds. Its energy signature intensifies, and the markings on its surface begin to glow with a soft blue light. Energy output increasing by 20%, Dr. Wright reports, watching the readings. Structural integrity stable. No sign of radiation leakage. Maya observes the artifact's response with focused attention. Increase simulation power to 30%. Let's see if we can trigger a more significant response. As the simulation intensifies, the artifact's behavior changes dramatically. The glowing markings shift and realign, forming new patterns across its surface. A low humming sound emanates from its core. It's reconfiguring, Maya says, leaning closer to the observation window. The internal components are realigning themselves. Dr. Wright checks her instruments. Energy output now at 60% of theoretical maximum. Whatever it's designed to do, it's preparing to do it. The humming intensifies, and suddenly, a beam of coherent light projects from the artifact's center, forming a complex three-dimensional hologram in the air above it. The hologram displays a star map, with one particular region highlighted. Maya stares at the projection in astonishment. It's a map, a navigation system. Dr. Wright adjusts her instruments to record the hologram. But navigation to where? This doesn't correspond to any known star chart. Maya studies the projection intently. Because it's not showing current stellar positions. It's showing positions from approximately 12,000 years ago, when the artifact was created. That makes no sense. Why create a navigation system that was outdated the moment it was made? Maya's mind races through possibilities. Unless it wasn't meant for immediate use. What if it was created to activate after a specific time period? To point to something that would only be relevant thousands of years later? Before Dr. Wright can respond, the hologram shifts again, zooming in on the highlighted region. New symbols appear, mathematical in nature but unlike any human numbering system. Coordinates. Maya breathes. It's giving us precise coordinates. The facility's lead security officer bursts into the observation room. We have incoming aircraft. Multiple signatures, approaching fast from the east. ETA 7 minutes. Maya makes an immediate decision. Shut down the simulation. Secure the artifact for immediate transport. As alarms sound throughout the facility, Maya quickly copies all data from the simulation to a secure drive. Dr. Wright, continue analyzing this holographic data. I need to know exactly what location it's identifying. And the artifact? I'm taking it myself. We need to split our resources, make it harder for Blackwood to capture everything at once. The security officer provides an update as they rush to prepare for evacuation. 6 helicopters incoming. Tactical teams deploying. They found us, Miss Chen. Maya secures the artifact in a specialized transport container designed to mask its energy signature. Implementation emergency protocol scattered. Light. Everyone evacuates in different directions with decoy packages. Dr. Wright takes the research. Data east. I'll take the artifact west. Within minutes, the facility erupts into coordinated chaos as the evacuation plan executes. Vehicles depart in all directions, each carrying what appears to be secure containment units. Maya slips away in an unmarked utility truck, the real artifact secured in a hidden compartment beneath maintenance equipment. As she drives into the desert landscape, she watches the facility disappear in her rearview mirror. Soon after, she sees helicopters converging on the abandoned research station. For now, at least, the confusion of multiple evacuation vehicles should delay Blackwood's forces. Maya activates her secure communication link. Director Voss, the artifact has been secured and is in transit. We've made a significant discovery. It's a navigation system, pointing to a specific location. Dr. Wright is analyzing the coordinates now. Voss responds immediately. Your extraction point has been compromised. Proceed to secondary location. Delta, we've detected unusual communications between Blackwood's operation and several military contractors. He's expanding his resources. Understood. What about the other team members? Following diverse evacuation routes. So far, Blackwood's forces are dividing their pursuit, uncertain which vehicle contains the artifact. Maya checks her mirrors for signs of pursuit. Director, during our simulation, we discovered the artifact as part of a navigation system. If Blackwood has collected 3 similar artifacts, then he may already have partial coordinates, Voss concludes. Which makes your artifact the final piece of the puzzle. Exactly. And given his willingness to commit significant resources to its capture, whatever these artifacts point to must be extremely valuable, or extremely dangerous, Voss adds grimly. Proceed to location Delta. I'll meet you there with reinforcements. For the next several hours, Maya drives through increasingly remote terrain, taking deliberate detours and switching routes to evade potential pursuit. The desert landscape provides minimal cover, but also allows her to spot approaching vehicles from a considerable distance. As night falls, she reaches an abandoned mining operation that serves as extraction point Delta. The facility appears deserted, exactly as it should. Maya parks the utility truck in a dilapidated equipment shed and waits, maintaining constant surveillance of her surroundings. Shortly before midnight, her secure phone receives an encrypted message from Dr. Wright. Coordinates analyzed. Location identified. Not what we expected. Call immediately. Maya dials with growing anticipation. What did you find? Dr. Wright's voice carries an unusual tension. The coordinates don't point to a location on Earth, Maya. They indicate a position. In space, specifically, a point near the moon's orbit. Maya processes this revelation. A celestial location? That makes no sense. 12,000 years ago, humans didn't have spaceflight capabilities. That's not all, Dr. Wright continues. I've compared the coordinates with current astronomical observations. There's nothing visible at that location now, but our deep space monitoring satellites have detected an anomaly there, a region where radiation patterns behave unusually. Define unusually. As if something is distorting the normal cosmic radiation flow. Something invisible to conventional observation methods. Maya's mind races with implications. The artifact isn't just showing coordinates. It's pointing to something hidden, something that's been there for thousands of years, waiting to be discovered. Exactly. And based on the mathematical precision of the coordinates, whatever is there was placed deliberately. Before Maya can respond, she hears the distant sound of approaching helicopters. She quickly ends the call and gathers her equipment, including the artifact's container. Too soon for extraction, she mutters, scanning the area for hiding options. The abandoned mining operation offers numerous potential concealment locations, but also limits escape routes. Maya makes a quick decision, heading deeper into the mine complex. The original evacuation plan designated a specific hiding location within the abandoned tunnels, a reinforced chamber once used to store explosives, now repurposed as an emergency shelter. As she navigates the dark tunnels using minimal light, Maya's mind continues processing Dr. Wright's discovery. An artifact created 12,000 years ago, designed to activate now and point to a location in space. Whatever civilization created, these devices possess knowledge and capabilities far beyond what conventional archaeology attributes to ancient humans. She reaches the reinforced chamber and secures the entrance, then sets up minimal emergency lighting. The artifact's container sits on a dusty workbench, its contents now more mysterious than ever. Maya checks her secure phone for updates from Director Voss, but the underground location blocks signal reception. She's isolated, at least temporarily, with one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in human history, an artifact that challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient human capabilities. Hours pass as Maya waits in the chamber, occasionally venturing toward the tunnel entrance to check for signs of pursuit. The distant sounds of helicopter activity eventually fade, suggesting Blackwood's forces have moved on to search elsewhere. Around dawn, Maya's secure phone finally connects to a satellite signal, receiving an encrypted message from Director Voss. Location compromised, extraction delayed. Maintain position and await further instructions. Maya weighs her options. Remaining in one place increases the risk of discovery, but moving without coordination could make it harder for friendly forces to locate her. She decides to prepare for both possibilities, organizing her equipment for quick movement while making the chamber more defensible. As she works, Maya finds herself contemplating the larger implications of their discoveries. If ancient humans created technology capable of identifying specific points in space, what else might they have achieved that history has forgotten? And what might be waiting at the coordinates? A satellite, a space station, or something beyond current human understanding? Her thoughts are interrupted by a faint sound from the tunnel entrance. Maya immediately extinguishes her light and moves to a defensive position, weapon ready. The sound grows closer, footsteps, attempting to move quietly but detectable in the silence of the abandoned mine. Maya braces for confrontation, mentally calculating escape routes and defensive options. The footsteps pause just outside the chamber entrance, followed by a voice she recognizes immediately. "Miss Chen?" "It's Jamie Winters, from the University Dig." Maya maintains her position, suspicious. "How did you find this location?" "Professor Reed received a message asking her to send me. Something about fresh perspective being needed." Jamie's voice sounds nervous but determined. "I can go if I'm not supposed to be here." Maya slowly approaches the entrance, weapon still ready. "Who sent this message?" "It was signed Voss. Professor Reed said you'd know what that meant." Maya carefully opens the chamber door, revealing the graduate student from Mountain State University. Jamie looks exhausted and dusty, clearly having traveled difficult terrain to reach this location. "How did you get here?" Maya asks, still cautious. Jamie holds up a handheld device. "GPS coordinates were in the message. I hiked in from the south side of the ridge." Saw helicopters on the north approach and figured that wasn't the right way to come. Maya studies the young archaeologist, noting the intelligent decision to avoid the more obvious route. Why would Director Voss send for you specifically? Jamie produces a tablet from a backpack. Maybe because of what I found in the soil samples from the excavation site. The university geology lab missed it, but I ran additional tests. There's something in the crystallization pattern that matches theoretical models for quantum entanglement. This catches Maya's attention. Quantum entanglement in soil samples? It doesn't make sense by conventional understanding, Jamie acknowledges. But the evidence is there. Whatever that artifact was doing while buried, it altered the quantum state of the surrounding material, almost like it was communicating with something. Maya's mind connects this new information with Dr. Wright's discovery, or maintaining a link across vast distances. Jamie looks at her with growing excitement. You've found something, haven't you? Something that changes everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. Maya makes a decision. Come inside. There's something you need to see. As Jamie enters the chamber, Maya secures the entrance again. She then activates a small holographic projector displaying the star map they'd extracted from the artifact. What we found challenges every assumption about ancient human capabilities, Maya explains. This artifact is part of a navigation system pointing to a specific location in space, near the moon's orbit. It was created approximately 12,000 years ago, using technology that shouldn't have existed until the modern era. Jamie stares at the hologram in astonishment. That's impossible. By conventional archaeological understanding. Yes, but the evidence is undeniable. Jamie studies the projection with growing wonder. A civilization capable of identifying specific points in space. They would have had astronomical knowledge far beyond what we attribute to ancient humans. Mathematical precision, advanced metallurgy, power generation. Their voice trails off as the implications sink in. Exactly, Maya confirms. Which is why understanding this artifact has become so important, and why certain interests are willing to go to extreme lengths to possess it. Like Elliot Blackwood, Jamie says, surprising Maya with this knowledge. How do you know about Blackwood's involvement? Jamie looks grim. After you left the university, he returned with private security forces, took control of the excavation site, confiscated all our research materials. Professor Reed tried to protect our findings, but the university administration sided with Blackwood after he doubled his donation offer. This news concerns Maya deeply. Did he find anything else at the site? Not that I know of. But he questioned everyone involved in the excavation, especially about you. Wanted to know everything about the consulting specialist who examined the artifact. Maya absorbs this information, which explains how his forces tracked us so efficiently. He's been following my movements from the beginning. Their conversation is interrupted by a notification on Maya's secure phone. A new encrypted message from Director Voss. Extraction team compromised. Blackwood has informants within our organization. Trust no one. Proceed to emergency fallback location immediately. Bring artifact. Maya shows Jamie the message. Looks like our situation just got more complicated. Jamie glances nervously at the tunnel entrance. What's the fallback location? A place only I know about, Maya replies, already gathering her equipment. Director Voss established emergency protocols years ago. Locations known only to individual operatives, not recorded in any system that could be compromised. As they prepare to leave, Jamie asks the question that has clearly been forming since entering the chamber. Ms. Chen, who exactly do you work for? This goes beyond normal archaeological research or even government oversight. Maya secures the artifact in its container before answering. The Historical Anomaly Research Division exists to investigate artifacts and evidence that challenge conventional historical understanding. Not to hide the truth, but to ensure it's properly understood before being integrated into general knowledge. And this artifact? What happens when you understand its purpose? Maya meets Jamie's gaze directly. That depends on what its purpose proves to be. Knowledge can transform our understanding of history, or it can be weaponized by those who see only its potential for power. As they prepare to venture back into the tunnels, Maya makes a decision that goes against her usual caution. Jamie, you've demonstrated unusual perception and a willingness to question established assumptions. Those qualities are rare in academia and valuable in our work. Jamie looks surprised. Are you offering me a job? I'm offering you a chance to be part of understanding a discovery that could change human history, Maya corrects. But first, we need to ensure this artifact reaches the right hands. Together, they move through the darkened tunnels, guided by Maya's knowledge of the mine layout. The unassuming teacher who once blended into museum crowds now leads a promising young archaeologist toward a future neither could have imagined, carrying knowledge that has waited 12,000 years to be rediscovered. Because sometimes the most profound truths lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with the courage to see beyond conventional wisdom and the persistence to uncover what has been forgotten. Maya leads Jamie through a complex series of abandoned mining tunnels, navigating with confidence despite the minimal emergency lighting. Her movements are precise and deliberate, suggesting an intimate familiarity with the terrain that surprises her companion. You've been here before, Jamie observes, carefully stepping over a fallen support beam. Maya nods without slowing. 3 years ago, we established emergency protocols for every region where anomalous artifacts have been discovered. This mine was mapped and prepared as a potential evacuation route. You're saying there are more artifacts like this one? Jamie asks, glancing at the container Maya carries. More than most archaeologists would be comfortable acknowledging, Maya replies. History is full of objects and structures that don't align with conventional timelines or technological capabilities. Most are explained away or quietly removed from public exhibition. They reach a junction where 3 tunnels branch in different directions. Maya pauses, consulting a small device that resembles a compass, but displays unfamiliar measurements. This way, she says, choosing the rightmost passage. There's a maintenance shaft that connects to an old ventilation system. It emerges half a mile from the main mine entrance, away from where Blackwood's teams will be searching. As they continue through increasingly narrow passages, Jamie asks the question that has clearly been building. What's at those coordinates in space? What could ancient humans possibly have put near the moon's orbit? Maya navigates around a partially collapsed section before answering. That's the question that has Blackwood willing to attack government facilities and compromise officials. Whatever is there, he believes it's valuable enough to risk everything. But what could it be? A satellite? Some kind of space station? Those would be detectable by conventional means, Maya points out. This is something that remains invisible, except through specific frequencies that match the energy signature of the artifacts. They fall silent as they squeeze through a tight passage that opens into a larger chamber with metal rungs embedded in one wall, leading upward into darkness. Ventilation shaft, Maya explains, testing the lowest rung. Approximately 200 feet to the surface. We'll need to climb carefully, some of these might be corroded. Jamie eyes the rusted metal with apprehension, but nods resolutely. After you. The climb is arduous, with several moments where ancient metal groans under their weight. Maya navigates with calm efficiency, testing each rung before trusting it with her full weight, the artifact container secured to her back. Near the top, Maya pauses suddenly, signaling Jamie to stop. She listens intently, then whispers, "Voices above." Someone's near the exit. They hang motionless on the metal rungs, straining to hear. The muffled sounds of conversation and equipment become clearer, search teams coordinating their efforts. Blackwood's people, Maya mouths silently. We need another exit. She points to a maintenance hatch visible about 15 feet below their position. Jamie nods in understanding, and they carefully descend to the alternative exit. The maintenance hatch opens into a narrow horizontal tunnel that forces them to crawl for nearly 50 yards before reaching another vertical shaft. This one smaller and clearly less used than the main ventilation system. Auxiliary air supply, Maya explains in a whisper. Emerges in a different location. More difficult to climb, but less likely to be discovered. The second climb proves even more challenging, with several rungs missing entirely. At one point, Jamie slips and hangs precariously from one hand until Maya secures a rope and helps pull them to a more stable position. Why are you helping me? Jamie asks during a brief rest on a maintenance platform. You could move faster alone. I'm slowing you down and increasing your risk. Maya studies the young archaeologist with unexpected warmth. Because discoveries like this aren't meant to remain hidden forever. They need to be understood by people who will use that knowledge responsibly, people who seek understanding rather than power. She adjusts the artifact container before continuing. In my experience, those people rarely have impressive titles or positions. They're often overlooked, graduate students who ask uncomfortable questions, or teachers who notice patterns others dismiss. Jamie absorbs this with thoughtful silence before they resume their climb. When they finally emerge from the mine complex, the sun is setting over the desert landscape. Maya quickly orients herself using landmarks, then leads them toward a rocky outcropping that provides cover from aerial observation. We need to move while we have darkness, she explains, checking her secure phone for signals. The fallback location is approximately 12 miles northwest. Challenging terrain, but that works to our advantage. Harder to track. Jamie looks at the harsh desert landscape with determination. I can make it. Just tell me what to do. Maya assesses their resources, limited water, minimal equipment, and the constant concern of pursuit. We move in short bursts between cover positions. No lights, minimal conversation. If we get separated, keep moving northwest until you reach a formation that resembles 3 fingers pointing skyward. There's a natural cave system there, the fallback location. As they prepare to begin their journey, Maya's secure phone vibrates with an incoming message. The text is brief but alarming. Blackwood has assembled all 4 artifacts, attempting activation without proper protocols. Potential catastrophic consequences. Stop him at all costs. Maya shows the message to Jamie, whose expression shifts from confusion to horror. But you have the 4th artifact right here. How could he be activating anything? He must have created a replica, Maya realizes, based on whatever data his sources provided. But without the precise calibration parameters. What could happen? Jamie asks. Maya's expression grows grave. These artifacts were designed as components of a sophisticated system. Attempting to activate that system with improperly calibrated components would be like trying to start a nuclear reaction without proper containment. They share a moment of silent understanding before Maya makes a decision. This changes our objective. We need to reach communication equipment and warn Director Voss immediately. Their journey through the desert takes on new urgency. Despite exhaustion and the constant threat of discovery, they move with determined efficiency, navigating by stars and Maya's remarkable memory of the terrain. Several times they freeze in place as helicopters pass overhead, searchlights sweeping the landscape. Once they're forced to hide in a shallow ravine for nearly an hour as ground teams with tracking dogs pass within 50 yards of their position. During one of their brief rest periods, Jamie asks the question that has been forming throughout their journey. You're not just a researcher, are you? Your training goes beyond archaeology. Maya takes a careful sip of their limited water before answering. The Historical Anomaly Research Division recruits people with diverse backgrounds. My graduate work was in archaeological anthropology, but my training since joining the division has been expanded. Military? Among other disciplines, Maya acknowledges. Understanding anomalous artifacts requires more than academic knowledge. Sometimes it requires field operations in challenging environments. Jamie processes this information, like now. Like now, Maya agrees, rising to continue their journey. As dawn approaches, they reach the distinctive rock formation Maya described. 3 towering spires of weathered sandstone reaching skyward like massive fingers. At their base, partially concealed by natural rock formations, a narrow opening leads into darkness. Maya approaches cautiously, checking for signs that the location has been compromised. Finding none, she leads Jamie into the cave entrance, which quickly opens into a larger chamber equipped as a basic operations center. Solar-powered emergency lighting activates as they enter. The chamber contains communications equipment, survival supplies, and a specialized containment unit designed for anomalous artifacts. "Welcome to Fallback Station Delta," Maya says, securing the entrance behind them. Off-grid, self-sufficient, and shielded from most detection methods, Jamie looks around with astonishment. "How many of these exist?" "Enough," Maya answers simply, moving to the communications array. "We need to contact Director Voss immediately. If Blackwood is attempting to activate the artifact system without proper calibration, the consequences could extend far beyond his research facility." As Maya establishes a secure connection, Jamie examines the chamber with growing curiosity. Unlike the temporary research stations they'd evacuated earlier, this facility shows signs of more permanent preparation. Geological surveys pinned to walls, star charts with specific regions highlighted, and equipment designed for long-term habitation. "You were expecting something like this to happen," Jamie realizes. "These preparations weren't made recently." Maya glances up from the communications equipment. The division has been tracking patterns in anomalous artifact discoveries for decades. "We identified this region as a likely location for significant finds years ago." Before Jamie can respond, the communications array activates and Director Voss's voice fills the chamber. "Maya, thank God, where are you?" "Fallback Station Delta with the artifact secure." "Sir, we received your message about Blackwood attempting activation. What's his status?" Voss sounds unusually tense. Satellite imagery shows unusual energy. Signatures at his private research facility in Nevada. Whatever he's doing with his replicated artifacts, it's generating power readings off any known scale. "Has he succeeded in activating the system?" "Partially. Our scientists believe he's managed to establish the initial connection sequence, but without the 4th authentic artifact, the system is unstable. Maya, we've detected gravitational anomalies forming around his facility. This goes beyond archaeological significance. It's becoming a potential national security crisis." Maya exchanges alarmed glances with Jamie. "Sir, based on our analysis, the artifacts form a navigation and communication system, pointing to something in orbit near the moon, something that's remained undetected by conventional means." "We've reached the same conclusion," Voss confirms. "And we've identified what's there using specialized equipment calibrated to the artifact's energy signature. It appears to be a doorway." The implication hangs in the air for a moment before Maya asks, "A doorway to where?" "Unknown. But based on the mathematical precision of the coordinates and the sophisticated technology involved, we believe it's artificial in origin and was placed there deliberately by whoever created these artifacts 12,000 years ago." Jamie can't contain their shock. "You're suggesting an advanced civilization existed on Earth 12,000 years ago with technology we can barely comprehend today? Or visitors from elsewhere who left behind technology designed to re-establish contact when humanity reached a certain level of development, Voss suggests. Either possibility rewrites our understanding of human history. Maya focuses on the immediate concern. Sir, if Blackwood is attempting to activate this doorway with improperly calibrated equipment, he could tear it open uncontrollably, Voss finishes grimly. Our theoretical models suggest the doorway was designed to open in a controlled, calibrated manner. Forcing it could create a rupture in space-time with unpredictable consequences. We need to stop him, Maya states firmly. Agreed. But our conventional forces can't approach his facility due to the growing gravitational distortions. We need someone who understands the artifact system and can get close enough to shut it down. Maya takes a deep breath, understanding what's ending. Being asked, I'll need the authentic fourth artifact to counterbalance whatever he's attempting. Can you reach his facility? Maya studies the maps on the wall, calculating distances and terrain. With the right transportation, yes, but I'll need support. Assets are limited with our organization compromised, Voss warns. Blackwood has connections throughout multiple agencies. We don't know who we can trust. Maya glances at Jamie, who has been listening with growing determination. I have assistance. What we need is transportation and a way past his security perimeter. There's a ranger station 30 miles from your position. I can have a trusted operative leave appropriate transportation there within 3 hours. Security codes and facility schematics will be included. The rest will be up to you. After confirming details and ending the communication, Maya turns to Jamie. This goes far beyond archaeological research now. You don't have to continue. There's enough supplies here to maintain position until extraction becomes possible. Jamie's expression is resolute. 12,000 years ago, someone created technology capable of opening a doorway in space. That discovery belongs to humanity, not to someone like Blackwood who sees it as a path to power. I'm continuing with you. Maya nods with approval. Then let's prepare. We have 3 hours before transportation arrives, and we'll need every advantage against Blackwood's security forces. They spend the time reviewing the limited information available about Blackwood's research facility and studying the authentic artifact's behavior patterns. Maya explains the theoretical principles behind the navigation system and how it might be possible to use the fourth artifact to counteract Blackwood's attempts at activation. The artifacts were designed as a balanced system, she explains, showing Jamie the intricate markings. Each component calibrates the others. By introducing the authentic fourth artifact into proximity with his replicas, we might be able to disrupt the activation sequence. Might? Jamie questions. Maya's expression is grave. We're dealing with technology that predates known civilization by thousands of years. Much of what we're doing is theoretical. When the time comes to leave the fallback station, they emerge cautiously into the desert heat. Following Voss's directions, they navigate to the ranger station where a rugged all-terrain vehicle awaits, keys hidden exactly where promised. Inside they find equipment essential for their mission, advanced communications gear, non-lethal defensive tools, and detailed schematics of Blackwood's research facility, including potential entry points and security measures. As they drive toward the Nevada border, Maya explains their approach. Blackwood's facility is experiencing gravitational anomalies that have forced evacuation of all non-essential personnel. Only his core research team and security forces remain. We'll use the disruption to our advantage. Jamie studies the facility schematics. The main research chamber appears to be here, in the central building. Heavily secured, multiple checkpoints. We won't approach through the main entrance, Maya decides. There's a maintenance tunnel here, connected to the facility's water recycling system. Less monitored, especially during an emergency situation. As they near their destination, the first visible signs of something extraordinary appear on the horizon, unusual atmospheric distortions, like heat waves, but moving in unnatural patterns. The sky above Blackwood's facility has taken on a strange coloration, with swirling patterns that defy normal cloud formations. Maya parks their vehicle in a concealed location 2 miles from the facility perimeter. We continue on foot from here. Stay low, move only when I signal, and maintain absolute silence. The approach to the facility proves more challenging than anticipated. The gravitational anomalies Vos mentioned are intensifying, creating patches of terrain where gravity itself seems altered, stones hovering inches above the ground, vegetation bending at impossible angles. The doorway is beginning to affect local space-time, Maya observes grimly. Blackwood's activation attempt is progressing faster than we anticipated. They navigate carefully around the worst distortions, gradually making their way to the maintenance access point identified in the schematics. The security measures are minimal, clearly not a priority during the growing crisis within the facility. Once inside the maintenance tunnel, they move quickly through the narrow concrete passage, following Maya's memorized route toward the central research chamber. The further they progress, the more pronounced the anomalies become, water flowing upward through pipes, equipment vibrating at frequencies that make vision blur. The effects are intensifying, Jamie whispers, steadying themselves against a wall as a wave of distortion passes through the corridor. How much time do we have? Not enough, Maya answers, checking the artifact container secured to her back. We need to reach the main chamber immediately. They encounter the first security personnel near a junction, leading to the research areas. 2 guards looking disoriented and anxious as equipment around them malfunctions unpredictably. Maya signals Jamie to wait, then moves with surprising speed and efficiency, neutralizing both guards with non-lethal techniques before they can raise an alarm. Your expanded training is impressive, Jamie comments as they secure the unconscious guards in a storage closet. Necessary skills in this line of work, Maya responds, leading them onward. As they approach the central research chamber, the environmental distortions become severe. Lighting flickers erratically, and the very air seems to waver and bend. Through reinforced observation windows, they get their first glimpse of what Blackwood has created. In the center of a massive circular chamber, 4 artifacts, 3 authentic, 1 replica, are positioned in a precise geometric arrangement. Above them, a swirling vortex of energy has formed, pulsing with colors that seem to exist beyond normal visual spectrum. The vortex is clearly unstable, its edges fracturing and reforming in chaotic patterns. Blackwood himself stands at a control console, his normally immaculate appearance disheveled as he frantically adjusts parameters. Around him, scientific equipment shows critical warnings, and several researchers appear to be arguing vehemently about procedures. He's losing control of the reaction, Maya observes. The replica artifact isn't properly calibrated to the others. Instead of opening a controlled connection to the doorway, he's tearing a hole in space-time. Jamie points to a side entrance with less security presence. That's our best approach, but how do we stop that, whatever it is? Maya removes the authentic 4th artifact from its container. The artifacts were designed as a balanced system. Introducing the correctly calibrated component might stabilize the reaction long enough to shut it down safely. And if it doesn't? Maya's expression is grim. Then the gravitational distortions will continue expanding until they create a rupture that could affect hundreds of square miles. They make their way to the side entrance, using the growing chaos within the facility to move undetected. Emergency. Alarms are sounding, and personnel are clearly divided between those attempting to evacuate and those determined to complete Blackwood's experiment. Just as they reach the entrance to the main chamber, a violent pulse from the energy vortex sends equipment flying and knocks several people to the ground. The instability is clearly accelerating. Inside, Blackwood is shouting at his remaining researchers, "Increase power to the stabilization field." We're too close to abandon the procedure now. A scientist responds desperately. The field generators are already at maximum capacity. The reaction is becoming self-sustaining. Maya turns to Jamie. I need to get close enough to introduce the fourth artifact into the arrangement. That means passing through that energy field. Jamie looks horrified. That's suicide. The gravitational distortions alone could tear you apart. Not if I move quickly during a fluctuation cycle. The energy field pulses every 42 seconds, with a 3-second window where the intensity drops. Maya begins counting the pulses, timing the cycles. When I move, create a distraction on the opposite side of the chamber. Before Jamie can argue further, Maya makes her decision. As the energy field reaches its minimum intensity, she rushes into the chamber, moving with extraordinary purpose toward the artifact arrangement. Jamie, following the plan, creates a commotion at the far entrance, drawing attention and shouts. From security personnel, Blackwood spins around, first noticing the disturbance Jamie has created, then spotting Maya approaching the artifact array. His eyes widen in recognition. Stop her! She has the fourth artifact. Security personnel move to intercept, but the unstable gravitational field makes movement unpredictable and difficult. Maya reaches the central platform just as Blackwood lunges toward her. You don't understand what you're interfering with. He shouts, this is the greatest discovery in human history. A discovery you're misusing, Maya counters, carefully positioning the authentic fourth artifact. These weren't meant to be activated by force. They were waiting for humanity to understand their purpose. The authentic artifact begins to glow with the same blue light they'd observed during their simulations, but with far greater intensity. As it connects energetically with the other 3 authentic components, the chaotic vortex above them begins to stabilize its erratic pulses, smoothing into more regular patterns. Blackwood stares in astonishment. It's calibrating the entire system. Maya accesses the control console, using the momentary stability to initiate shutdown procedures. The artifacts were designed with safeguards, protections against misuse that you bypassed in your haste. The energy vortex contracts, becoming more defined and controlled. As it stabilizes, a clear image begins to form within its center, a structure floating in space. Geometric and clearly artificial, positioned exactly where the coordinates had indicated near the moon's orbit. Everyone in the chamber, even Blackwood's security forces, pauses in awe at the image now clearly visible. The doorway has partially activated, showing them what waits on the other side. Evidence of intelligence and technology that existed when human civilization was in its infancy. 12,000 years, Jamie whispers, having made their way to Maya's side during the confusion. They left this for us to find when we were ready. Blackwood's expression transforms from anger to wonder. Who were they? What did they know that we've forgotten? Maya continues the shutdown sequence. Questions we might have answered through cooperation and careful study instead of reckless activation. As the system powers down, the image of the space structure remains briefly visible before fading. The gravitational anomalies begin to dissipate, equipment stabilizes, and the immediate crisis passes. Security personnel surround them, but make no move to interfere as government forces, alerted by Director Voss, arrive to secure the facility. And the artifacts. Hours later, after extensive debriefing and medical evaluation, Maya and Jamie stand outside the facility as dawn breaks over the Nevada desert. Director Voss approaches, looking exhausted but satisfied. The artifacts have been secured and are being transported to a proper research facility, he informs them. Blackwood is in custody, facing multiple federal charges. His resources are substantial, but even he can't escape the consequences of what happened here. And the doorway? Maya asks. Still there, still waiting. But now we have time to approach it properly, to understand what it represents before attempting to open it. Jamie looks toward the horizon thoughtfully. A gift from the past to the future. Knowledge preserved across 12,000 years, waiting for humanity to be ready to receive it. Director Vos studies the young archaeologist with new interest. You showed remarkable courage and insight during this crisis, Jamie Winters. The Historical Anomaly Research Division could use someone with your perspective. Jamie glances at Maya, who nods with approval. I've already completed the recommendation paperwork, Director. Jamie has demonstrated exactly the qualities we need in our work. As they prepare to depart, Maya takes a moment to look back at Blackwood's facility, now surrounded by government vehicles and personnel. What began as a simple archaeological analysis has revealed a truth that will transform humanity's understanding of its own history, evidence that advanced knowledge existed far earlier than conventional science acknowledges. They'll try to classify everything that happened here, Jamie predicts. Keep it hidden from the public. For a time, Maya agrees. Until we fully understand what we're dealing with. But eventually, this knowledge will change how humanity sees itself and its place in history. Director Vos adds, the most profound discoveries often come from unexpected sources, artifacts overlooked by mainstream archaeology, insights from researchers outside traditional academic hierarchies, courage from those whom others underestimate. As they walk toward the waiting vehicles, Maya reflects on the journey that brought them here, from a simple backpack search to the discovery of technology that bridges 12,000 years of human history. Her unassuming appearance had allowed her to move through the world unnoticed, studying artifacts others dismissed, recognizing patterns others overlooked. Because sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries come from ordinary moments. A security guard emptying a backpack, a graduate student analyzing soil samples, a teacher noticing mathematical patterns others missed. And sometimes the most important people are those no one notices until everything depends on them. The metal that wasn't supposed to exist had opened a doorway not just to space, but to humanity's forgotten past and potentially its future. As the sun rises over the desert, casting long shadows across the landscape, Maya Chen prepares to continue her quiet but vital work, knowing that history's greatest secrets often hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with the wisdom to recognize their importance. They don't wear special uniforms or demand recognition. They simply observe what others miss, question what others accept, and preserve knowledge that might otherwise be lost to time or ignorance. In doing so, they become the quiet heroes who expand humanity's understanding of its own remarkable journey. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.